All right, everybody, we made it. It's day 15. I just want to do a quick check-in, a little sanity check for everybody who's been on this journey. If you're new to mindfulness or you've been doing it a while, but you've been doing other techniques, so this variety might be a little challenging or off-putting. Just want to touch a few points. The variety is, by design. We're giving you a lot of options and a lot of potential methods, so you can try them all out and find what works for you, and then maybe design your own practice around that or something similar, right? So that's one of the things with the 30-day challenge. We're going to open up a lot of opportunities for you to explore different ways of doing mindfulness. So that's one thing. Another thing is, if you're new and maybe you've been struggling, maybe we only get 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes into it before our mind starts to wander and we're off track, or at least we feel like we're off track. But I'd like to suggest that no, you're actually doing great, and remind you that half of the work of this mindfulness is just recognizing when our mind has wandered from the practice and then bringing it back. And that's a key component of this, of the strengthening of our concentration skills, right? So every time you do that, every time you recognize that your attention has wandered and you bring it back, that's like doing another rep at the gym, another curl against gravity. It's the gravity of your mind wanting to wander, and you're bringing it back to where you want to bring it. So it may feel overwhelming sometimes when it's doing that, and you might have some sits where you feel like you spent your whole time just bringing your mind back to what you wanted to concentrate on, the mindfulness. But no worries, that's all right. That is strengthening your ability to focus on what you deem relevant at any given moment. So you're on the right track, you're doing great. Just give yourself some grace, but you're doing a great job. Other things that might come up, maybe as we do some of the feel rest or feel spaciousness things, we can be opening ourselves up for like a release of energy, right? Or a release of memories or things that come up. And you always have a couple options to work with that, is to just, you can observe it as it comes up and then gently return your attention back to the practice. That's kind of an anchoring away technique. Or you can shift. You can shift from whatever the technique it is you are doing and turn towards it. And then divide and conquer. Work with it in the see, hear, and feel framework, and divide it and work with each part individually instead of trying to work with the whole at one time. So if some challenges come up, you have those two options: anchor away into the practice, or turn towards it and try and divide and conquer. Another thing a lot of people report sometimes is they feel like when they're trying to do something like see, hear, feel, that there's too much activity going on. And they can't pick one thing to see, hear, or feel. Don't worry about that. That's fine. That's definitely common. And the best thing to do in that scenario is just pick one. Whether it's the one that's most prominent in your attention at any given moment, whether it's see, or it's hear, or it's feel, or whether it's something that draws your interest, or maybe there's an opportunity, or maybe there's a necessity to dial in and focus on that one, to get some clarity on it. All right, so yeah, and then as always, the labeling is optional. In most practices, in the guided meditations, I'll give you a heads up if it's going to be a labeling practice. And if I don't announce it throughout the guided meditation, you can still use labels if you like, or maybe you're at a point in your practice where you don't like to use labels. Either way, that works. Long story short is, you're doing great. You can always reach out to me at Jeremy Toole at mindfullife808.com and email me if you got questions or you want to set up some coaching or anything like that. I don't charge, and I'm happy to help guide you in the right direction, and together we can help work through any challenges that do arise from your practice. So, all right, you got this. Aloha.